Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an all-new reaction and review. Tonight, guys, I'm taking a look at another film off of the Amazon wish list. Tonight's film is one that has been requested of me a lot, partially because, well, people have told me it's nasty, it's sick, it's fucking disturbing, and they really want me to check it out. Unfortunately, beyond that, and the movie's title and one cast member, I don't know a damn thing else about the film. The movie came out in 2009. It's a film by Lars von Trier. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that last name right. It could easily be von, Trier. I don't know. The movie is Antichrist. Yeah. And now, as stated, the only things I know is that the movie is called Antichrist. It stars Willem Dafoe, and according to many people, this film is disturbing and sick as shit. Now, I don't know if that last part is true. I have no idea. The only way for me to actually verify that is if I sit down and watch this, and, well, I might as well forego any kind of lengthy ass opening. Let's just get right into this movie because I'm genuinely curious. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Antichrist. I'd like to say this right now. These two must be really loud fuckers if they are able to have sex and they do not hear the window open, they do not hear their kid walk in on them, they do not hear him knocking over shit, they don't hear him getting out of his crib. They must be the two loudest fuck partners in the history of God for them to have heard none of that. Oh, and the kid fell out of the window. Awesome. She's saying he was never interested in her. Well, according to the prologue, he was definitely interested enough to have really loud sex and not hear their kid jumping out of the window. But I'm just going to forego that. I'm just going to assume that she's just so stricken that she's not thinking straight. I'm just gonna pretend that makes sense. Actually, it does make a little bit of sense. Okay, I'd like to say this right now. There's a world of difference between playfully biting on your boyfriend's nipple and biting it to the point where it's bleeding. That was kinda fucked up, dude. Okay, that's kinda sick. When I started watching this movie, I never thought I'd see a deer with a half-born, possibly dead fetus sticking out of it. That was not entirely what I was expecting when I started watching this, but god damn it, that was definitely sick. Well, guys, I just sort of want to mention this right now. Willem Dafoe's character in this film is really an arrogant dickhead. And it's one of the rare instances where he isn't able to make one of those characters likable. And I believe that was probably the film's intention, but I just want to say this right now. Willem Dafoe is playing an unlikable dickhead. I never thought I'd ever be able to fucking say that. Okay. So we have looks to be a wolf or a fox, was eating itself and then it started talking. Wow. That was definitely new. It kind of threw me off a little bit. Fuck yeah. Holy fuck. Alright. Never thought I'd ever see a man get his junk caved in with a fucking 2x4, but wow, that was fucking brutal. Oh my god. Well, guys, After over a year of watching movies, seeing tons and tons of dicks being cut off, that's the first time I've ever seen a woman take a pair of scissors and cut off her own fucking clit. That just... Oh, God, that was sick. I really do feel like I'm going to retch right now. Holy fuck. Well, folks, that was Antichrist, or Antichrist, again, all depends on how you want to pronounce it. Let me shut the movie off here. Okay. I would like to say I'm pleasantly surprised, because I really had this fear I was going to go into this movie and it was going to completely suck balls. And the big reason why, I should try to explain, the reason why I feared it was going to suck is because people were telling me it's one of those pretentious art house films, and I've already suffered through two of those, and I said that all art house films are bullshit. All of these fucking, like, quote-unquote deep art house films suck. Well, now I can look at everyone who told me I was too harsh on fucking Eraserhead, and I was too harsh on, what the other one was, Salo. I can look at all of you and say, this is how it should be fucking done, okay? This movie wasn't great by any stretch. I mean, you know, this honestly is not the sort of film I think I'm going to watch, you know, like 50, maybe 60 times, but it is something I might find myself watching again. That's saying a lot. The fact that I might be willing to give this thing a second viewing. That right there now that speaks volumes. Now, let me just hit up on the positives for this film, and there are a lot of positives. Number one, the writing is really strong. Again, I'm going to go back to Eraserhead and Salo. I'm going to say where both of those had stories which were either ridiculously shallow or completely non-existent. This one actually has a story. It has characters you can actually find yourself caring about, even though the both of them are ultimately just really, really hollow husks of fucking humanity, who are both trying to find their own way of grieving for the loss of their son, mainly by torturing each other, either physically, sexually, or mentally. Doesn't matter, but they basically are just torturing each other for 108 minutes. And there's still a lot there. This film is ridiculously deep. There is a very deep-seated, at least to me, there almost seems to be a very deep-seated, philosophical message buried in this film. And if you watch it enough times, it'll probably all sprout out, and you might be able to get it all. However, on the first viewing, you're probably going to be left a little bit confused. I know I fucking am. The ending seemed a little bit sketchy. Again, I'd probably have to watch it a couple more times and just see what kind of cues I missed that lead to the ending being what it is. But still, I thought that the writing was good, because we actually had a story. We had characters who were at least in some way likable, even if at least characters with personality. I really cannot say likable. I didn't like either fucking character, but I think that was the point, was to have both characters be lifeless, unfucking likable dickheads, so that way as each of them are being tortured, you don't give a shit. All right, it's one of those things where it's just their way of trying to desensitize you, as you're watching, as you see that both of these characters have literally no real soul after the death of their son. Anything which happens to them, you see it, and you might be a little bit shocked, but you really aren't going to give a shit that it's happening to this character. And this is one of the few cases where that works. It works for your characters to be kind of lifeless. They actually have motivation to be so. So I'm not going to fault it on that. I can't fault it on that. The acting. Again, I just have this feeling that both characters were intended to be these soulless, lifeless beings because, again, of the opening scene. So the acting works in that sense, and when these characters are pissed, the acting is very, very good. When the actors are are essentially just fucking emotionally shattered. Well, that's mainly her more than him, but I'm going to but still, she pulls it off very, very well. I do not know the name of the actress. I think it's let me see if I can get the name off the back of this quick. Come on, cast. Give me a fucking cast. Charlotte Gainsbourg. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. She is able to pull off playing a frickin' lunatic emotional basket case very, very well. It's like the acting from our cast of 3 people works, even though one of them is just a fucking kid who doesn't really speak and is just seen mainly in like stills or in slow fucking motion, or it's like the kid is barely there. So anything which he may or may not have done doesn't fucking matter. It all boils down to our two leads, and they are able to at least keep you. They're able to at least keep you interested, and that says a lot. Effects. There are a lot of effects in this film. I was not really expecting that, because we have everything from a dick, which comes, blood. Yes. If anyone out there has ever had this goofy fantasy of ever seeing a movie where Willem Dafoe comes blood, you can just watch Antichrist. I guarantee you will be happy. To a woman cutting off her own friggin', clit, to tons and tons of gore effects involving animals. It looks really, really good. And then on top of that, we have a video effect at times where she, and mind you, I believe actually that is what she's credited as, is just she, is running through the woods, and everything around her is beginning to distort, which I think is supposed to show that she's going more and more insane as they're out in the woods. It looks really good. It looks really creepy. This film is just magnificent at setting a fucking atmosphere of just being just unfucking nerving and creepy as hell. And I cannot really word it in any other way. If I had any negatives, there's one negative, and it does have to do with the writing and the pacing of the film a little bit. And it's that it takes the film forever to get where it wants to go. You see, because it's really cool to watch our 2 leads in the woods, physically, sexually, and psychologically fucking destroying each other. But it takes almost a half an hour to 45 minutes for them to get to the woods. It takes so long that really it just sort of takes you out, and you're like, come on, I just want something to happen. Because nothing happens between the end of the prologue and when they finally get to the fucking woods. There's almost nothing happening in that first 45 minutes. It could really have probably been condensed down to probably about 10, and the film would have flowed a lot better. Instead, we have a film that takes literally forever to get going. Well, not literally, but you know what I fucking mean. It takes forever for it to get there. To get where it wants to go, and then it just takes off. And that to me is a huge pacing issue, and I know that a lot of people are going to start watching this film, and if they don't know about that slow build-up, that almost glacial build-up, they're probably going to shut it off after 15 minutes and just rule it boring as hell. But if you're able to stick with it, there is an awesome movie buried here, which I guarantee if you are looking for a twisted film, if you are looking for a warped, disturbing film, you will find it here. It is rather light on gore, so essentially, gore hounds are not going to find anything really here that's going to wow them too much besides a couple of scenes. But it's still a really solid movie, and I would highly recommend it to everybody. If you guys can find a copy of this thing anywhere, I really never bothered to check if this thing is on Netflix or not. I really should have. But Anyway, if you can find a copy of this, either for sale or for rent or for download, or if it's on Netflix or Hulu or Crackle or any other site that offers movies and TV shows, go ahead and watch it. You really are not going to lose a whole lot, except, well, you might feel a little bit. You might feel a little bit dirty after watching. In fact, I actually feel almost like I fucking have to shower. The movie just made me feel a little bit like uneasy, which, believe me, that takes a lot to fucking do. Now, Antichrist came off the Amazon wish list. I actually have a note here. One of those ones you can have Amazon print off and send to you. Now, this one actually came with another movie which this person sent, but this has what he wants the shout out to be. This movie was sent in by a person named Zachary Hardy, and he doesn't have a YouTube channel. He doesn't have a Facebook page or a blog he wants me to give the shout out to. Instead, he has a literature portfolio on Google, and if you guys want to check out his work and let him know if it's any good. I haven't had the chance to read any of it myself. All you got to do is go over to sites.google.com/sites/the literature of Zachary Hardy. I am going to provide a link in this video's description for that. And Zachary, thank you. This movie, holy shit, this thing just crushed any and all expectations I had for it. I really thought it was just going to be another bullshit, pretentious art house film, and I would just have to toss it off to the side right along with fucking Eraserhead and Salo. But no, this thing, I wish that all art house films were as good as this thing, instead of as drab, dull, stupid, and pointless as Eraserhead and Salo. Again, I'm just going to keep on beating on those two dead horses, because damn it, I had to suffer through those, and I'm still just a little bit pissed. But anyway, folks, yeah, I would highly recommend this one. Go ahead, guys, and look for it somewhere. You will probably find a lot to really like in it. Unless you are easily offended, or if you're easily, or if you're one of those like squeamish sort of folks, then there's a few scenes in here which are almost guaranteed to make you sick. Otherwise, yeah, check it out. You guys will probably love it. And with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.